Hey guys, Jinlux here, back with our blind playthrough of The Cat Lady. So last time we got our... Oh, I just took a sip of some bourbon. Wasn't ready for it, I guess. Okay, so last time we got our face burned off by some cannibals. And then shot ourselves in the head. And now we're gonna get drunk with Mitzi. So let's go get some wine glasses and one for me, one for Mitzi, and a corkscrew. And it would be here. Digestive biscuits? What is that exactly? Digestive biscuits. All right. What's up, girl? I'm back. Examine. She reminds me of myself when I was younger. I'm not sure if I could fully trust her, but so far she seems genuine. Maybe I'll give her a chance. She might be dying. Doesn't mean she's not gonna try and take advantage of us.
Have you found that corkscrew yet? We also need some wine glasses.
As a matter of fact, I did. Let's see. Examine, nothing fancy, just an ordinary corkscrew. Give.
There you go. Let's get that bottle open.
Yeah, but we'll need glasses too. See if you can find some.
Examine, they're still pretty clean after all these years.
I found some wine glasses.
All right, that's all we need. Oh, and Miss Ashworth, I really must say this before we start.
Yeah?
I promise I won't cut your throat when you're asleep.
Very funny, Mitzi.
Oh, no, I mean it.
That's fine. But just so you know, I always sleep with my eyes open.
So, the Big C, want to talk about it? Oh, it's not raining anymore. How are you planning to find this guy? We'll start at the top.
So, the Big C. Want to talk about it?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really want to tell you about it like that. I put you in a very difficult position, I know. It's just that I was really desperate to get this room. I hope you can understand. This is the last and most important thing I must do before my time is up.
It's fine. You seem alright. It's just... I find it hard to trust people these days. Maybe it's time I opened my eyes to see others have problems too.
Interesting.
Some, like yourself, even bigger than mine. What kind of cancer is it? Do you mind me asking?
Brain tumor. Her name is glioblastoma.
Haha.
Yep, they're all girls, the way I imagine it. Just look at their names. Lymphoma, melanoma, myeloma, leukemia, sarcoma. Each of them a fucking goddess of death. Beautiful and ruthless.
You might just be right about that, Mitzi. I used to be a nurse. I know a few things about cancer. And I know glioblastoma. She's a real bitch.
Yeah, and yet she gets to be the prom queen before night ends, while I disappear down the back exit.
How long?
They said I had a year. But that was 6 months ago, so... yeah. Not awfully long.
Is there anything...
They've tried.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So am I. Do you want to talk about something else?
Let's see. Okay, so glioblastoma, also called GBM and glioblastoma multiforme. Malignant tumor affecting the brain or spine. Type of tumor. This type of tumor grows and spreads rapidly, often creating pressure. It's rare. Let's see. Almost always lethal. Life expectancy 15 to 16 months if you get surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation treatment. Oh, that's the median survival time. Which is right in the middle. So, you know, half of people survive longer, half of people survive less. Causes are unknown. Interesting, but a lot of it occurs in people with rare genetic conditions. Ever curable? No. But they have treatment options, including an awake craniotomy, which, I mean, generally speaking, most brain surgeries you do while the person's awake because you want to know what's going on. You know, if all of a sudden they lose their speech or something, that's bad. And debulking surgery, which is... I mean, yeah, that's probably a good thing to do in general. Reduce the cancer, at least. I want to say... They don't really talk about it, but I think... I vaguely remember reading something about cancers. Am I remembering this right? Where it's like, or is that dementia and Alzheimer's? I think it's dementia and Alzheimer's where you cut back on your sugars because the byproducts they accumulate in your brain and your body can't get rid of them fast enough. But it probably affects cancer as well. That and, sauna, right? Sauna creates, if you do heat stressors or cold stressors, so you could either take like ice baths or do saunas. And both of those create is it the FOXO3 enzyme or FOXO2 enzyme, something like that. It's some kind of enzyme that actually fights cancer. It like helps restore damage to your DNA or something like that. It helps prevent cancer. So that's kind of neat. But that's one of those things they don't tell you about because it's just like, oh, it's a checklist, right? That's medicine. It's kind of funny because it's like, in Subnautica, one of the logs you find is like, I'm not a doctor, everyone just reads the diagnosis off the computer. It's like, that's kind of how it is a lot of the time with us as well. It's like, oh, you have cancer? Chemo, this, that. I mean, but it's certain types of cancer, certain types of treatment, of course, but, it's if A, then B, if C, then D. Ooh, I hit the microphone, sorry. I don't know.
Oh, it's not raining anymore.
Oh well, I don't mind rain. Sometimes I even like it. But according to weather forecast, there's a nasty fog coming. Now that I'm actually scared of. I got lost in a fog once, when I was just 9 or 10. I remember I sat under a tree crying, thinking some monster would appear right in front of me and drag me away.
But now that you're a big girl, you know there are no monsters.
It's not true.
Yeah? How do you know?
One of my favorite quotes, and I don't know who it is. Oh, the only monsters are us? Yeah. Murderers, rapists, arsonists. Yeah. We stopped being afraid of monsters under the bed when we realized they were inside of us. The monsters, I mean.
The only monsters are us. Murderers, rapists, arsonists. They're the real beasts. So far from humanity, They're no longer capable of feeling compassion or guilt. They're the ones we should really be afraid of. But whether they're lurking in the woods or fog or the darkness of our cellars, it's all irrelevant. You can't predict what happens. You can't do anything to stop it. There is only one way. You turn into a beast yourself.
Wow.
And like them, you show no mercy.
Whoa! Where did that come from, Miss Ashworth?
I just don't like murderers. They're nothing but parasites.
Presumably we're gonna see how we get kidnapped by the pest control. I hope it has nothing to do with the cats. That would make me upset. It's possible that cat was Teacup. Because that's what I thought of when we first saw the cat and how small it was. It has a different shape than the other ones.
How are you planning to find this guy?
I don't know yet. A bit of detective work, perhaps. It shouldn't be that hard, really. There are only 8 apartments here. One is yours. That leaves us with 7. I was hoping that you could give me a hand, actually. You know some of your neighbors, don't you?
Not many. I never really cared about them. They changed over the years, too. You probably also figured by now that this is not the sort of place where new neighbors are greeted with a freshly baked cake. You see a new face, you give them a blank stare as you pass them in the hall, and you forget about them a minute later.
That bad, eh?
Well, there's that bald guy who lives above me in flat 5. He came here recently to shout in my face. He's a nasty piece of work, but I really don't think he's the person you're looking for.
What does he do for a living?
I think he's a train driver.
I can't imagine somehow that my guy would be a train driver. Okay, that's good. Leaves us with just 6. Anyone else you know?
I'd have to think.
You know, maybe not tonight. Let's just talk about something else, okay? I have plenty of time. There's no need to rush this. Maybe tomorrow we could sit down together and make a plan. I could draw a simple map of the building, and with your help, mark down who lives where.
Sounds good to me, Mitzi.
I was gonna say it's usually the ones that rant and rave and stuff like that. That dude, the dude that came down, he's attracting attention. Presumably, predators don't, right? They don't want to draw attention to themselves. They, you know, if they're sociopaths, they want to blend in, right? You attract too much attention, it makes it hard. So, it's probably not the dude that yelled at us, but you never know. You never know.
You mentioned a boyfriend. Tell me something about him.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about him. His name is Jack. He's dead.
Oh.
Miss Ashworth, are you sure you want to listen about my miserable life? I don't want to bring you down. These aren't happy stories.
And I'm not a happy stories kind of person. I'm sure you've noticed by now.
I guess so. Anyway, I suppose I would have had to tell you about Jack sooner or later. After all, he is the main reason I'm here. I just don't know where to start.
Just a weird thought I also had was, you know, if you're like what she could do is if you're, you know, if you're depressed or whatever, one of the things that's missing from most of our lives, let's be fair, is fulfillment, right? And actually, it's funny because when you talk to nurses, you're like, why'd you get into this? And they're like, oh, I want to help people. But they don't really. I say this because they think they want to help people, but it's like, well, what are you doing to help people now? And the answer is nothing, right? But you could do stuff now to help people that'll actually make an impact. And if you're depressed, I mean, obviously, like, my work schedule, my free time is precious. I'm not going to take on a second volunteer job. No. But if you actually want to make an impact, you could do something like, volunteer at a soup kitchen or something, because then you really see, like, people down on their luck that are really have a hard time in life, and you're actually doing something to help them. You know what I mean? Same thing with, like, volunteering at, like, at an animal shelter or something like that. You see people that are just like, oh, I want to go and I want to play with the animals and pet them and give them a good time. It's like, that's what everyone wants to do. And you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. If you were doing it for them, you would do the stuff that no one wants to do, like clean up all the poop and clean the cages and, help with giving them their shots and stuff. Not just play with them and then leave when you get bored, It's, I say soup kitchen because that's probably the better one. You can actually empathize with other people and feel better that you're actually helping them. It's more of a return on investment, so to speak, as opposed to, an animal shelter, which is needed, but, it doesn't quite feel as good, I would imagine. It's like, yep, I went and I cleaned up poop and I did something no one else wanted to do, and it's like you help the animals, but you're also kind of getting used by the people, maybe. I don't know. So, plus, I mean, if you're struggling as well, I think you can eat at the soup kitchens if need be. Once you serve all the homeless, I think you get to eat afterwards. I don't know, but it's, I mean, I know plenty of people that are struggling. It's just I pay attention. I'm just not directly involved. You know what I mean? Like, the housekeepers, like, I know some of them take the bus to get to work, and it's like, because they don't have a lot of money and they're not paid very well, but I can't really help them that much.
Tell me how you two met.
Oh, we knew each other for, like, forever. We grew up on the same street. It's funny how we seem to be made for each other. A perfect match. I always knew he was the guy for me, and I'm sure he never doubted that either. Jack was absolutely crazy about me. We thought one day we would marry, have children, be happy. I never had many friends because I had Jack. I didn't need anybody else. If there's one thing I'm really grateful for in my life, it's that I got to experience this pure, perfect love. Some people go through a lifetime without knowing how it feels. I guess I've been very lucky. But all luck runs out sometimes.
I gotta say, this music is pretty good too. It's kind of nice.
How did he take the news about your cancer?
He thought I was joking at first. He laughed. Then he got really angry. I swore to him I was serious, but he still wouldn't believe me. We had a big fight that night. It was our first and only fight. But it was awful. He smashed some stuff. His guitar, of all things, was the worst. He loved that guitar. Why did he break it? He was absolutely furious. He walked out on me that night, and when he came back the next day, he was different. He begged me to try surgery and chemotherapy. I didn't really want those things, but I did the chemo for him. It didn't help. It just made me feel sick all the time. I felt trapped in this strange place where nothing that happened around me seemed real. Maybe that's why I didn't see what my cancer was doing to Jack, and it was destroying him as well. He changed. He became obsessed with death. It seemed death was all he ever thought about. even though it was me, not him, who was supposed to die.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, I say that not knowing about it, but I can imagine.
Jack made those pictures on your wall. Was he an artist?
He always liked all kinds of morbid stuff, whether it was music, movies, paintings. So do I, really. We had that in common, amongst other things. People say it's depressing to listen to sad songs or watch sad films, but I never felt that way.
And yet, you are scared of fog?
Oh, that's different. I might be scared of fog, but I like spiders. They're beautiful.
You must be out of your mind, Mitzi.
No, honestly, there is a certain indescribable beauty in sadness. Just like there's beauty in the grey and ugly winter morning when you look past the obvious and notice what others can't see.
You must love my apartment then. It's like Ugly took a vacation here and never went home again.
Kind of. I mean, there's beauty in many things. I was going to say all things, but that might be too... What's the word? Platitude? It's a platitude, right?
How did he die? How did Jack die?
I didn't expect her to walk out there like that, but okay. He killed himself.
So distant the last few weeks before he died. What I didn't know was that he kept looking for something. I don't think he even knew what exactly. But it eventually found him. Or rather, he found him. There are those forums online, you know, about all sorts of stuff. Fishing, computer games, horses, gambling, addictions. Everything, really. Accidentally, Jack stumbled upon one about suicide. There's a guy there. Calls himself the Eye of Adam. He's a fucking god on that forum. It's like a failed suicide club. People mostly try to help each other and offer support. Sometimes it just helps to know there are others like you. To listen to their stories and how they cope with their lives.
Sure.
But the Eye of Adam is an advocate of death. He dwells on human weakness. His job is to plant an idea, to give them a reason to die and tell them how to do it, once and for good. Jack took the bait. Before he knew, he was completely brainwashed. One day he sat down with me and tried to explain his perfect solution. It was the Romeo and Juliet kind of scenario. We were both to die together in each other's arms. It was supposed to be a quick and foolproof death. There was no chance we would have been saved, all thanks to the Eye of Adam, who created a tool for perfect suicide. He told me it was very simple. All we needed were 2 easily accessible household chemicals, which combined together create a gas called hydrogen sulfide that kills you within a couple of minutes.
Bleach and ammonia?
I told him he was fucking nuts, of course, but he just wouldn't give up. He reasoned with me, then he begged, and eventually just kept screaming at me. I figured it was his crazy idea of a modern romance, but it was downright tacky and just wrong. Finally, he said he would get everything ready and wait for me in our special place at dawn, 5 in the morning. Don't be late. Those were his last words he said to me. Then he stormed out. I cried for hours, thinking I didn't deserve all that from the person I loved most in the whole world. A few times I even tried to persuade myself that maybe he was right and I should do it. I just couldn't. I eventually fell asleep. I didn't plan it. My head was killing me. I was so tired. I woke up suddenly. I could see the sun rising out my window. It was nearly 5. In utter panic, I threw myself off the bed and ran out the door. I needed to stop him. I needed to get there before it was too late. But right there in my bedroom, before I even left, I already knew it was. When I arrived at our special place, it was already bright. We used to go there in the past, drink wine, sometimes smoke weed and listen to Pink Floyd, sometimes make love in Jack's car. There wasn't really anything special about that old parking lot. But to us there was. It was completely abandoned. It was quiet. It was safe. After that day, I've never gone there again.
Oh, do we have control of her now? Yes, we do. So he's in the car. What does this say? Huh. But I don't think it's... Ammonia and bleach create ammonium sulfide, not hydrogen sulfide. I don't know. I mean, honestly, you want... I would imagine you want painless. Or at least quick. I don't know if that is. But I'll say it again. Don't kill yourself. If that's, you know... Oh, excuse me. The whole point is that... I mean, suicide is escapism, right? It's running away from your problems, but that's part of the reason why I say we should all become stronger, because then if we're able to face the problems without a problem, then it's not a problem. I'm not a writer, okay? I'm gonna use the same words repeatedly over and over again. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's why these days, whenever things get tough, like I don't think about killing myself. I think about quitting my job. I'm just like, I could quit this job. Like that scene in Half Baked where he's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. Grab a biscuit, throw it, hit some old man in the face. You know, just like maybe don't throw the biscuit because you don't want to be charged with assault or whatever. But yeah, I don't. I mean, you can always quit if your work is so bad that you're having to piss yourself. You know, that's not a good place. You know, and like. I don't know of like how something like that would be, where it's like the person you love most in the world, like where they're dying or dead or whatever, and it feels like you've got nothing else, but you do. You have yourself. And you know, I would imagine if you love someone that much, you know, if you love each other that much, then they would not want you to suffer after they're dead. That's what I imagine, you know. And so I don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with missing them and being sad, you know, but I think, oh, it's getting foggy now. But yeah, I think if the person really loved you, they would want you to live and enjoy life, you know? But, yeah.
There were signs on the car windows.
Warning signs, yeah. I found on that forum that the Eye of Adam doesn't want any accidental deaths. So he posted this poster design for people to print. It turns out there's a whole sick ideology behind it. Fumes from the car could hurt anyone who opens the door, and that's not the point. The idea is to die willingly and with clear mind, to prepare for it, to embrace it.
Jesus. You'd think the police would investigate the whole thing. Sounds almost like a sect.
This guy knows how to hide. The police can't be bothered to make an effort. It took me 3 months to track him down. Now I'm finally so close. I can almost smell that fucker.
Kind of in a weird way. I've thought about something like that before, where it's like sort of the idea of death worship. But it's like people are... It seems to me, and maybe this is a stupid idea, that if you were going to die, like dying as a pauper, having accomplished nothing, like your death is worthless, right? It's only... It's more meaningful to die having lived a good life, to where a bunch of people are sad. Like, not in like, oh, you're causing sadness or whatever, oh, it's so delicious or whatever. No, it's like death makes life worth living. So, I mean, regardless of whether in here they're like, oh, you don't just... Death doesn't mean you cease to exist. I mean, it's just it's a transition, not a deletion or whatever, right? But it just seems to me that if you like so much so that if you were gonna worship death, if you were gonna start like a religion, like death worshippers or something, they'd wear pink, not black. Because pink is the color of happiness. Pink is apparently the color that people see and they feel most happy about. Apparently, I don't know if prisons still do it, but they used to have a pink room where if an inmate was depressed, they'd put him in there. I mean, I'm sure it's not maximum security prisons or whatever, but you know, they'd put them in there so they'd feel happier, because gray just like leeches the happiness out of you or whatever. So it's like, you know, you'd want your for death to be worthwhile, you'd want your life to be meaningful and be full, you know? It's like a meal, you know? You want like the best. You don't want like some cheap junk food. You want like a 5-course meal with wine and like a filet mignon and like a, you know, foie gras, whatever, something handcrafted. That's a, you know, like artisanal, however you pronounce it. Something created special. So just to be, like, for me, the idea of suicide is like, why? I mean, I understand, but it's like, no, I want to live. I want to live, I want to enjoy life. And the people that worship death, it's like, you're doing it wrong. I'm curious about the gas, though. Let's ask about this.
How strong is that gas?
Extremely deadly, it turns out. It kills in minutes. It's that stinky stuff that smells like rotten eggs, you know?
Oh.
At high concentrations, it can knock down an elephant.
Problem is, it probably sucks. Your brain, it's called the hypoxic drive or something. You have two different drives in your brain. One that goes off the CO2 in your blood and one that goes off the oxygen in your blood. And so what happens is, with a lot of these gases, is if they deplete oxygen, you know, if they sort of push oxygen out of the way and you suffocate, you panic. You know, so it might kill you, but you die terrified. You know, whereas, you know, carbon monoxide, for example, you go to sleep and it it sort of tricks your brain into thinking that you're fine, but you're not. So, I mean, don't do it. You know, there's, like I said, I guess, there's cats to pet, and coffee to drink, and alcohol to consume, and foie gras, filet mignon stuff to eat, or even, I got some cheap-ass ramen that's like molten chicken flavor, and oh my god, it's painful both times, right? But it's so good, I don't know what it is. Like, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. If you have... I mean, if you're looking to self-harm, becoming a chili head is the way to do it, because it gets you high from all the endorphins. Like, it's kind of neat, actually. It's like the pain caused by the chili peppers triggers endorphins in your system, which gets you high. It's like the same thing as a runner's high. So if you want to self-harm, don't cut. Eat a frickin' ghost pepper or something instead. I mean, it sucks, but it's... I grew Carolina Reapers once, and I ate one once. And I ate the littlest one, and as soon as I put it in my mouth, I'm like, oh, this was a bad idea. I could already tell. And then I ate it, oh my god, it hurt. It hurt so bad. But, and I never got the high. Like, they're talking about the endorphin rush or whatever. I never got that. I mean, I'm sure that it was there, but I didn't feel it. All I felt was, ah! You know, I felt like I was getting an ulcer in my stomach. And, yeah. That'll make you feel alive, let me tell you. Yeah, so, I mean, not to make light of all this, but it's like, look, you have to enjoy life. You have to seek enjoyment. Otherwise, there's so much tragedy, right? It'll overwhelm you. You have to focus on enjoying it. You know, drink the wine, smoke the cigarette, have the coffee, drink the bourbon, pet the kitty. You know? Have two kitties, pet them both at the same time. That's how you do it. Wear pink. Fuck it. You know? I don't have a pink shirt. Maybe I should get one. Frickin' put a gold chain on with it too. Some $ shades, just stroll into work. They'd throw me out. They'd be like, what is this? Anyway.
I'm so sorry. I think now I understand. He loved you so much, he couldn't bear the thought of living without you. And that guy, the Eye of Adam. I'm not surprised you want to find him. I know I would. I'm not sure if I should believe that you only want to talk to him. But hey, that's none of my business. I wouldn't know what I'd do if this happened to me.
Good to know, but I really just want to talk. I want to face Jack's killer and tell him what he's done to me. You know, the funny part is that he actually told me where he lives. He wants to meet me. Would you believe that?
How come?
Well, this kind of thing he does is called trolling on the internet. It's usually a form of extreme bullying and psychological cruelty. Those who are clever enough say, don't feed the troll. Don't talk to them. It only makes it worse if you show any interest in them at all. And Eye of Adam is no exception. He craves attention.
Right.
He's a hungry troll who wants to devour as many hearts as he can get a hold of. I emailed him and told him I was a massive fan who loves his work. He wouldn't believe me at first. But trolls are always hungry, and I was prepared to serve him a meal fit for a king.
What do you mean?
I fed him so much bullshit that he really believed I'm a suicide preacher just like him.
Great. I wish he'd given you his door number, though.
Yeah, that's odd.
It's all a part of some sick game he's playing. Sooner or later, I'll find him.
You think she's gonna get killed?
What are those two chemical products?
Well, I'm not sure if you want to know that.
I get it. You don't want to tell me because I'm a fucking suicidal maniac. Is that it?
No, Miss Ashworth. No, I didn't mean it like that. Okay. Maybe to some extent. Just replace maniac with victim and fucking with recovering. You've only just come back from the hospital. Whatever it was that made you do it, you proved you are capable of going through with it.
Right.
I don't know you long enough to tell you if you're completely over it now. And the last thing I want is to give you stupid ideas. It would be just like what the Eye of Adam does. I would never forgive myself if anything happened to you because of me. I mean, how could I?
Ironic. I've learned my lesson. Dying is not for me. She just shot herself in the face. But it's to presumably restore herself. Which is odd. It's like the Phoenix, right? I say those who want to die will always find a way to do it. I agree.
Those who want to die will always find a way to do it.
I'd really like to believe you, Miss Ashworth. But I will need you to promise me that you will never try this method.
All right. I can promise you that I will never try this method. Or any other method, for that matter. Been there, done that. Didn't enjoy it much. Do you believe me now?
Yeah, I think I do. Good. I'm glad you said that, you know. The recipe for this deadly cocktail is very simple. Any good housewife can make it in a blast.
Part of me is glad, well, I don't know if they're going to say it, but I'm sure you could look it up on the internet if you wanted. The problem is, and here's the risk, is that something you find on the internet, it might kill you, but you might suffer horribly while you're doing it. Which is why I say just, you know, the irony is if you want, it's the escape from pain that people want. I was going to say, if pain is what you want, just keep living. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like that's the hard thing. But it's, yeah. No kitty also, which is good. I was going to say the right next to the gun could be the cat, but it looks like a post or something. Yeah, I mean that is the hard thing, is choosing life. But I mean there are some things that you can do, right, to help if you are depressed. Vitamin D, for example, is one of them. There's something about vitamin D that's a mood stabilizer. It might be why sunlight helps, but I think that's a different reason, because sunlight is a very, very inefficient way of creating vitamin D. You could eat, you know, spinach, broccoli, kale, stuff like that. That'll help get vitamin D. I just take a supplement because I'm actually looking to boost my levels, because with your vitamin D levels in the blood at a certain point, it actually fights heart disease. I don't know what the unit is, but you're looking for 50 to 70. 30 or below is, what's the word? Deficient. And, yeah, I mean, most people are probably... These days, you might be surprised. I don't know. I would wager most people are below 30. But who knows? And I think even taking vitamin D is not very helpful. I think I got my levels checked when I was taking like 4,000 units, something like that, and it was still below 30 or just barely above 30. So I'm like, screw it, I'm going to take more. So you could take vitamin D. That'll actually help. I mean, it's like these little, it's like life hacks, sort of, right? That help with depression. Getting plenty of sleep is another good one, or improving the quality of your sleep. I think, again, like a quarter of people suffer from sleep apnea. If you think you might, you can always go to a sleep clinic. And I will say the sleep test, and especially afterwards, if you have a hard time sleeping like I do, that was the most depressed I have maybe ever been. Because I was like, man, I didn't sleep properly. I failed the test. It's not gonna help them, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about it. They want to make money. They will give you a CPAP, right? You can count on corporate greed, right? So and then it'll be fine if you actually have sleep apnea, right? They will, trust me, they will happily charge you for a CPAP. You don't need to worry about it. And it might actually help. It does with me, although, you know, it didn't at first. It took a couple of months, and then when I was used to it, I was like, this isn't working, and I stopped taking it, and immediately I noticed that it was actually helping, right? As opposed to one of my buddies who the first night he tried, he was like, oh my God, this is the best sleep I've ever gotten. Didn't work that way with me. So, you know, vitamin D, get proper sleep, or, you know, get better quality sleep. Of course, exercise is a good one too. I mean, you can cut carbs. Surprisingly, that actually helps. You know, insulin is a hormone. We don't know all the stuff that it does. Most people think of it as just like something that controls your blood sugar, but it does way more than that. Some of the neurochemistry things that I've seen, and I know nothing about it. I just know it looks like a bunch of gobbledygook. It does like 100 different things in the body, and they don't even know what those other things are. They know it controls blood sugar, and that's it. And that does it. It's not even the only thing that controls blood sugar, right? But insulin's a hormone. Cutting carbs and losing weight does help regulate your mood better. Like, at least for me, when I lost those 30 pounds, I noticed my mood was a little more stable. I don't get hangry anymore, for example. I get hungry and I get irritated, but I don't get hangry. So there's that. And yeah, I mean, sunlight helps too, but not because of the vitamin D thing. I think it just feels good. Nature, you know, go for a walk, surround yourself with trees and stuff, you know. Maybe we'll stop here. That might be a good spot. Save Lucky 13. Interesting. Yeah, this game is not bad. Not bad so far. I like it a lot. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. Really appreciate it. Really hope you guys are enjoying these episodes. And any of the information that I'm putting out there too. Leave a comment if you want. I don't mind. I read all of them. I respond to all of them. It usually takes me a few days because I'm working and or lazy. Yeah. What is your guys' unique positive moment for today? For me, it's actually, I still have lentils. I made a pound of lentils, threw a couple ham hocks in there because I was looking at like Great Depression era cooking, and this is like some of the cheapest meals that you can make. I mean, I added like some onions and stuff as well, but yeah, I still have some. I'm still eating the beans. It is ridiculous how many servings it makes. If you're looking to stretch your budget, lentils, they have protein. I mean, they're more carbs than I would like. I could probably do without it and just eat a can of tuna or something instead, but can of tuna is like $1 or, you know, 80 cents maybe. Well, with inflation, who knows? The lentils and the ham hock in it, work out to be about 30, 40 cents per serving. So, I mean, that's something to do. Doesn't taste bad. Tastes all right. So that's, yeah, it just blows me away. I'm like 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks worth of beans. I guess 2 pounds. It's like a pound a week. Something like that. But also I'm not eating it every single meal. You know, I'm eating it like maybe 1 meal a day, 1 or 2 meals a day. So it's a fair amount, but yeah, that's my unique positive moment. Lentils. They're awesome. If you're looking to stretch your budget, that's the way to go, I think. But that's my unique positive moment. Hopefully your guys is just as good, if not better. Hopefully better, of course. And I hope to see you guys next time. Till then, guys, take care.